In regards to Bruce, he was always about kids first. I've never seen him make a decision that was not based on what was in the best interest of students and student athletes. And so it's not just a lot of words with Bruce, it's the reality, it's who he really is. He covers all the bases. He just does. He covers all the bases. If you give him a job to do, you can just count on that all the bases will be covered, and he does get the job done.
Well, I think Bruce has done this for a long time. And the years that he's put into it and the time he's put into it and the energy and enthusiasm that he's put into it has benefited so many. And he's been so dedicated to everybody involved. And I'm so excited to see him win this award or be honored with this award. And I certainly think it has to do with his work ethic and his passion for everybody.
I think it's an honor for Bruce from a lifelong of hard work, a lifelong journey of really giving his all to the student athletes of the state of New Mexico. He's done it as good as anybody that I know of in this whole state. He has been a true leader of building quality educator/coaches. He's been a true leader of building students into young men or outstanding young women.
I think he's established himself as a respected leader in education and athletics. I think he's made himself known around the state with big schools and small schools, and he's visible in committees and things that he does, even serving on the NMAA commission.
Bruce, congratulations, man. Life doesn't get better than that, and it couldn't come to a more deserving individual. Boy, I'm not accustomed to bragging on you, but if anybody deserves this, you certainly do.
The individuals that's had the opportunity to work in a very small district like Melrose, and then larger districts like Hobbs and Rio Rancho. And so I think he sees the picture of high school athletics statewide and has an appreciation for the uniqueness and the challenge that each district brings.
Well, I'll tell you, he's been all the way down south to Rio Rancho, and what he's done in both places has been amazing. And I think his legacy is going to be work ethic. I think his legacy is going to be really changing maybe the culture at Rio Rancho when he came up, and Rio Rancho Public Schools has certainly benefited from his professionalism and his demeanor and his expectations. But he doesn't just hold the expectations for all of us underneath him that make us better. He holds those same expectations for himself.
I really think his legacy is building champions as far as the total person, you know, whether he's been an athletic director as far as working with his coaches or been a coach working with his athletes. He's built a true champion on the court and also off the court.
Well, I think his legacy from the standpoint of Rio Rancho Schools is going to be opening up a new school in the district and its sports programs being viable immediately, both schools. And the way he did it was making sure that both schools had what they needed and one school wasn't taking advantage by the other.
Bruce is the most competitive person I've ever known in my life. As an athlete, just unbelievable, just ferocious competitor. As a coach, equally so, maybe even more if that's possible, and just the best athletic director in the world. Man, you're going into as big an organization as you can possibly be, and again, it's so deserving, Bruce.
It really exemplifies the kind of leader that you want your own individual kids to look up to. I had two boys who played baseball, and you know, they watched him. They watched his leadership, and they watched his direction, and I think he is just an individual that we as educators and parents want our children to look up to.
Well, his impact has been huge. I've served with him on committees from the Code of Conduct to watching him put policy in place to ensure that all of our student athletes, both male and female, have the opportunity to be successful, and to see him do this year in and year out with consistency and following the policy that he puts in place, and again, working with people, the parents administration. And at the end of the day, the kids and the youth of New Mexico have benefited from his work, and it's always been about them.
With student athletes, I think he builds a structure, and what I've seen at Hobbs and what I've firsthand experiences at Rio Rancho is I've seen him be able to build all the resources and show his coaches or show the students what it takes to be a champion, what it takes to be an outstanding citizen.
Again, I think it has to do with fairness. I think he's a good listener, and he takes into account the interests of all athletes. It doesn't matter what sport or program you're in, boys or girls. He listens, and he's an advocate for you.
Fantastic with kids, unbelievable. Bruce has always been one of those people that always did the right thing, no matter what the situation, and at the same time wanting to make sure that he put coaches and teachers and kids in positions to where they could just be remarkably successful.
It's really an honor. It's exciting. It's thrilling. You know, to be one of the most exciting things is to have your picture in the room. The meeting room that we have all of our meetings in, because I've spent over the years a lot of time over there looking at pictures of people that I've worked closely with and people that I think a lot of. So to have, just have my picture next to them means a lot, and just the honor of being part of New Mexico and athletics and NMAA over the years, it's really special. I've been influenced by so many, but just a couple of guys that, Randy Adrian was very influential when I came over here from Texas. Came over here from Texas after being in Texas 8 years. Started at Hobbs in '95, I believe it is. And anyway, Randy was the AD at Clovis, our arch rival. But Randy spent a lot of time with me, helping me learn the ropes. And it couldn't have had a better, role model for an administrator, because Randy's so organized, so professional, and able to see the big picture and everything. So I learned a ton from Randy, but I also have to say my former superintendent in Texas, a guy by the name of Mike Salvato, who is no longer here. He was not an athletic administrator, but he was a superintendent. And I learned so much about the support, just the athletic support that he gave. And he passed away here a couple of years ago with throat cancer, but he had tremendous influence on me as an administrator. I'd give anything if he was here today. We've been able to have success both at Hobbs, my 13 years down there, and then 9 years here now. And a lot of it is with athletic administration is, to have success, you're going to have some good athletes. So we've been blessed. You don't win without good athletes, there's no question. But I think hiring good coaches has been the secret. It's no secret. You get the right people and things click, and you get that good coach with good athletes. Good things are going to happen. Yes, sometimes it takes a little bit of luck, and there's always competition. But you put that combination together, and I could name so many different ones. That I've been lucky to be around some great coaches, and we've been lucky to have some great hires. We haven't always got it right 100% of the time, but we've had some really good people that just were great with kids. There's times where you have to maintain poise and you maintain control, and as a young coach, I didn't always do that. And I know Gary was in here earlier interviewing, he could probably tell you sometimes that he didn't do that also. So I think you learn from that, though, especially as you get older. And at the end of the day, it is a game, and there's something about the handshake after the game, and it's hard sometimes to lose, but it teaches you so much. It teaches you so much to be able to lose with class, and to go over there and shake the opponent's hand, and to keep your head high, and to keep your kids on your team to keep their head high, and to hustle off the floor, and those kind of things. it's all a learning. It's all part of life, and I think I learned a lot as a young coach on some things I didn't do well as a real young man, and I've been able to get past that as I get older. That had some great wins, and you're going to have some losses too. You're not going to win them all, and you've got to. At the end of the day, it's all about competition, and those relationships that you have mean more than the victories. Honestly, I can think back to coaches that I competed against. I can think back to athletic directors that I've competed against where, I can look at that guy and remember, boy, we had some great games together and we can sit around and laugh about it and everything. And that means more than actually even remembering who won a game 15 years ago on a certain night.